Hey you guys, it's Melissa Davis, an independent team manager with Jamberry. I wanted to share my story because I just watched a super inspiring girl tell her story. She actually was somebody I met in Maui when we went on the incentive trip. I hadn't ever met her before, but in the Jamberry world, we are a part of all these different groups, and it's just like one big family. And so she was actually on our shuttle from the airport to the hotel in Maui, and she was just right away just somebody who was super inviting and warm and nice and fun and spunky. And anyways, I am always doing searches on YouTube, and I came across one of her videos, and it was her story of how she became a Jamboree consultant. And I literally started crying, and I was in tears because it sounded a lot like my story. And so I wanted to share my story with you guys. So I, before Jamboree, had been a photographer and designer, mostly a designer for photographers, for about 10 years. And for about 4 of those, I did really well. To the point where we were able to buy a new home, our first home, with the help of the tax home, the first home buyer's tax credit. And it was really cool. Like my husband got to buy a car. I got to buy a car out of just straight. We both had a car. He had a motorcycle. I mean, it was after, 10 plus years of marriage. This was like the first time, or maybe not 10 plus, but coming upon 10 years of marriage, this was the first time we'd ever really had kind of the ability to have some fun. And so it was really cool. But I really didn't know how to run a business. I just was flying by the seat of my pants. And so anyways, my husband left for a work training for 6 weeks. In that time, I sold a house and bought a new house. You buy a house and you start making a little bit more money and you do the typical let's upgrade type of thing, right? Well, when we moved into our new house, which we are currently in, my business, totally took a plummet. I don't know what happened. I think it was just because I didn't know business. I wasn't set up right to sustain long term. And, I was freaking out, because we had bought our house going by both of mine and my husband's income, which admittedly is not the best idea to do, but we had done it. And so we move into this house. My business takes a plummet. I'm trying to scramble and figure out what to do. And then tax time comes around, and surprise, we have an $8,000 tax credit to pay back because of our move out of our home before the 3 years. So I know this all sounds like, well, why didn't you figure this out, blah, 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 but we were kind of led to believe it would be a prorated tax credit back, and we would only have a certain, a small amount because we had almost been in our first home for 3 years. So yeah, my business took a hit, and then we had $8,000 to pay back. So now we're in this new home paying a lot more mortgage, and so my husband sells his car, he sells his motorcycle. Because I was a photographer, I had 2 cameras. I sold a camera, and it was very, very, extremely, very stressful. My daughter's gonna walk in my door, so I'm gonna lock it real quick. Anyways, it was really stressful when you're thrown into a situation where you have to pay a lot of money back and you don't have it. So we were like selling our treadmill. We were selling anything that had any value to pay this tax credit back. Wiped out all of our savings, everything, to the point where we were just stressed. It was stressful. And I was to the point where I was taking my kids' clothes and selling them online to buy food. So that's where we were at. If you've been in that situation, you know what it is. If you're there now, you know what it is. It's stressful. It's hard. So anyways, I was trying super hard to get my business back going, a lot. I was spending countless hours. I was trying to remodel my whole business. It was something like, if you know business, It wasn't something that was going to pay out soon, but if I would have put months to years into it, we would have probably gotten back to a good place, but we needed money now, and I needed a job now. So, cue Jamberry. I went to my first online party and immediately was like, I love this. It was around Mother's Day, and I had no money. I knew my husband wasn't getting me anything because he's very money conscious, and I knew I shouldn't have bought anything, but I did. I just said, you know what, it's Mother's Day. We've been struggling so hard and so long. Like, I'm just doing this for myself. And I bought it. Immediately said I want a party because I wanted freebies. Had a party, loved it. The girl that did my party, who's now my team manager and one of my good friends, Denise, she, saw something in me and said, why are you doing this? And, I didn't want to. I didn't want to do direct sales. I had had such a negative emotion towards direct sales because of people I'd seen go in and go out of direct sales, and they quit after after a couple months. And I was like, I'm working on my business. I don't want to do this. I rolled my eyes, I didn't want to do it. And then I actually had another online party because I had so much fun during the first one. I wanted more freebies with the second one and to have a lot of fun. And again, she's asking me, why aren't you joining? This is something. Hold on a sec. Hey, miss?
Yeah.
I'm talking on a video for a sec, okay?
Okay.
So have it locked.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, sorry. School just got out, so she just got home. Anyways, so I had told her no. At that time, my sister-in-law, one of my sister-in-laws had joined Jamberry, and she was also wanting me to join her team because now she knows that I'm loving it and wanting to, just loving Jamberry in general. So anyways, my husband and I were out on a date, and this had happened more than once when I had been with my husband, but we would be out and people would comment on my nails and they would say how much they loved my nails, and I would be like, oh yeah, Jamberry, and I would send them to somebody else's site. This is the girl, and I'm sending them to somebody else's site, and we're walking out of our last place that we were at, a grocery store, and the cashier again was like, oh, I love those, they're so cute. And anyways, my husband says, everybody loves those, you should sell them. And I my jaw literally dropped, because this is so unlike him to kind of say something like that, especially when we are struggling so much and the starter kit is $99. And we don't have that. So yeah, I kind of laughed it off and said, oh yeah, they're really cute, everyone loves them. But I started thinking about it, like, what if this is something I could do? What if this is, I love them. I've never done direct sales, but what if this is something I could do? And, the next day I said, is this something I can do? He said, well, if you can make more than you would at McDonald's or any fast food place, then yeah, you can go ahead and do it. And I did. I signed up that night. That has been almost 2 years ago in June. I started June 7th of 2014. Whoa. Okay. Yeah, almost 2 years ago. And I have just been loving it ever since. Admittedly, we're still in a position where I am using my Jamberry to help with the finances, and that's okay. I have earned a trip to Maui. Just got back from Maui. It was awesome. I am using Jamberry money to pay off a motorcycle and a car. That first said car that we had bought outright with my old job, we had to take a loan on. And so I am going to be paying those two things off in this year. With my Jamberry, and cutting off 3 years of payments from those two things, which is awesome. I have all these big plans of what we're going to do, and it's just been, I've just gotten the opportunity to do something that I really love. and something that I never thought that I would like. When you have a negative connotation with direct sales and you don't know what it's all about, you don't realize that it literally is a job. I am so grateful that I get to work a job that I can be at home. I can make my own hours. But yes, I do work, and I do put a lot of hard work into it because I love it and it pays off, and it's been amazing. I now have 95 girls on my team, which is awesome. I mean, we have a great time. We have this sisterhood in Jamberry, and yeah, it's just something that came out of the blue and the unexpected and has been just amazing, life-changing, I would say, for me, because 2 years in and I still love it. I love the company in Maui. I got to meet the founders and they are amazing. You know, you meet them and you think, these are the most down-to-earth, kind, caring people. The company is constantly thinking about us and what they can do to help us. It's amazing. So, you know, after I go to Maui, I was just like charged up to just keep going and just, you know, I have a goal to just be at the top. Right now I'm at team manager and I love it. And yeah, so that's kind of my story about Jamberry and how it has truly just been this blessing in my life that I never thought would have come in. Just meeting new people at parties, getting to literally become friends with a lot of my hostesses because they join my team, and a lot of hostesses that don't join my team and my team. And the friendships are just kind of that icing on the cake that are priceless. So that is my Jamberry story. And I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful that I had two girls actually pushing me in the beginning to say, you would be great. And this would be super helpful to you. And if you are in a position, you know, you're like me, I said, you know, I was selling clothes. My kids had shoes that were falling apart, and I had to say, can't do it right now, guys. Don't have the money. And that's hard to say to your kids, especially with something like shoes when they're needed. So if you are in that position and you're thinking this would really help, but you don't have the investment, let me just tell you, making the investment is completely worth it. Most girls make up their kit credit 1 to 3 parties, and then you're making money, and it's awesome, and you're working, and you're feeling good about yourself. One thing I can say, even though this is getting super long, 13 minutes, I'm sorry, is that when you work for yourself and you push yourself to these limits that you don't think you had, like there's days I'm like, oh, I don't want to do this, but then I get up and I do it, and I'm like, and then I see my goals and what I've accomplished and what I've reached. It really makes me feel proud of myself. It really does. I feel like, you know, I've got this. I can do this. And after staying home and being a stay-at-home mom now for 13 years, you kind of don't get a lot of that back from your kids. And so Jamberry shows you the support. They give you congratulations. They send you things when you make certain goals. When you're on a team, they send you things as a team manager. When my girls promote and rank, I send them fun goodies. And it's a good feeling of accomplishment doing something that you love. So I hope you enjoyed my story, and if I relate to you at all, or you have any questions, or you want to talk or anything, just reach out because I'm here, and I love talking Jamberry. You can never stop me from talking Jamberry because I love it, and I'm always talking about it. So yeah, thanks for listening, and it is a Friday today, maybe not the day you watch this video, but happy weekend. See ya.